from Los Angeles, California, for the Mad Scientist Party Hour.
Hello there, friends! Welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name is Kevin Kraft, joined once again by a man who forgot to put on pants and underwear today, but definitely remembered to start beating his meat in front of us. That's Jeff Clark.
Hey, friends.
And transmitting to us from a Mighty Max playset, the miniature bearded booger eater known as Shuddy Boy.
Yo! Rah, rah.
And do you guys remember those fucking things?
Yes.
Mighty Max?
The boy version of Polly Pockets.
Yeah.
Were those like straighter Tamagotchis?
No.
Tamagotchi?
Did I say that right?
Do you remember Polly Pocket, Jeff?
No.
They were
I mean,
like,
the name is very familiar, but I'll Google it.
is that something you fuck?
That's what I call my fleshlight.
Polly Pocket pussy? They were like these little clamshell things that you would buy at Toys R Us. And when you open it up, there was like this miniature world inside. With these
Did
little...
you have one?
A Polly Pocket?
Yeah.
No, but I definitely had some Mighty Max. They were fucking cool.
Mark Rooster, I believe, still has some Mighty Max.
Man. That's dope. What a baller move by Mark Rooster. Let me see. I wonder if Electronic Bay has Mighty Max for a reasonable price.
They should be reasonably priced. They don't seem to fetch a lot at vintage toy stores. I have seen them and they're like $15.
Foolish mortals. What the fuck? These things look dumb. What? I remember these being so much cooler. There's like no room for the figure. This has to be like Mighty Max Light or some shit. I want a fucking real one. Oh, the skull. The one that was like kind of He-Man-esque, Shuddy. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Ooh, this one. This is a used one, but it's 100% complete with all the figures. Oh, dude, this one's sick. It's like a fucking Mad Scientist lab, but it's $90. And it's not even in the goddamn original packaging. He's fucking...
Not even factory sealed?
No, man. What a bunch of bullshit. But, I don't know. I'm going to put this on my list of things that I call bullshit that I don't need that I will buy if I'm ever cool. Like, if John Cooper sells and I get a nice little paycheck out of it, I will treat myself to like 2 or 3 stupid things on that list. And it might be a Mighty Max. I'll just get stoned to the point where I don't even know how to talk anymore and play with those little motherfuckers. Speaking of getting stoned, let me show you guys something. Ah, fuck.
Hopefully it pulls out a volcano or slinky bucket.
I don't think I know. Oh, I see it. Hold on. And don't laugh at my pajama pants.
I haven't hit a slinky bucket in years. Actually, I have a bong just sitting underneath my sink that I didn't even...
Wait, did you
I haven't
find...
used in
You found
months.
a surprise bong?
What the fuck is a slinky bucket?
Oh, you've
It's
probably
one of
seen one.
the. It's like one of the gnarliest pot smoking apparatuses there are. It's like almost like a control, like a gravity bong.
But in accordion form.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I've never done one of those. I have done gravity bombs.
This one's like a waterless gravity bong, and it like dangles like an accordion.
yeah. You like light it, and then you spread the accordion, and all the smoke builds down or goes down, and then you inhale the accordion back to its original state.
Yeah, they're pretty sick. But I got these. This isn't like a plug or anything. Clearly, I'm not cool enough to get sponsored by anything. But I mean, it's nothing new. But I was telling Carl this over the weekend. Like when I was a teenage weed smoker, and you get all stoned with your friends, and you're all sitting in the room, listening to the Doors, sitting in beanbag chairs or whatever. And you're like, man, wouldn't it be cool if one day you could go to the store and buy like fucking a pack of Marlboro Greens, man, and it's just a pack of joints, like cigarettes. I mean, it's
Like
been a thing for a minute, but it's still
yeah,
cool
you got
seeing it.
the Lowell smokes, right?
Yeah,
Remember those?
the Lowell smokes are cool because they have like really good packaging, and then they're built in with matches and a strike pad, so you have everything. You're never like searching for a lighter. They're rolled really well. It's usually really good weed. Although I have had issues with those being a little too tight. You kind of have to like roll them in between your fingers a bit, like boogies, to loosen it up. Otherwise, you can't even really get a pull on it. I haven't smoked any of these yet, but it's literally just like a pack of smokes.
With joints.
Yeah. It's 14 pre-rolls. It totals up to be like a quarter ounce of weed, and this was $40. And it's got like a little magnetic thing to keep the Siggy pack lid shut. I'm very stoked.
I'd pay an extra. I'd pay an extra $40, or even more actually, if they were infused with hash oil. I find those pre rolls usually suck unless they have like a hash oil in them.
Yeah, I mean that's why they're good for me because I'm a bitch. Like they literally
True.
make stuff marketed as dad weed now, and it's like, oh god, I'm such a pussy. But at least I still smoke weed. I just can't rip like I used to, or else I curl up in the corner and think about dying.
But you don't. I'm surprised you don't do that by yourself sometimes.
But just get stoned to the point where I hate it.
Oh, yeah, I get a little uncomfortably high.
Oh, it happens. Because it also, like, if I don't have anybody to smoke with, I tend to use the Volcano the most. So I'll fill the bag up, and I'm usually only trying to fill it up to give myself a couple of toodles. But if I space out while I'm filling it, like I'm watching whatever movie or TV show is on, and I'm like, oh shit, this thing's been running for a while. I hit it all myself, and then I get too stoned, and I'm just like, oh no, the walls are closing in. Shuddy, I'm glad you were able to make it back. There were talks unknown to the Puminati that we might have to delay and record tomorrow, but Shuddy Boy's a fucking G and drove halfway across the country, and it was just, yeah, let's do some MSPH.
It was a
Love that
total
commitment.
of 3,200 miles round trip with all the driving we also did in Dallas since Thursday.
That sucks balls.
You've been to Dallas a bunch of times, all right?
Yeah, I mean, my dad's family lives in Dallas and Houston, so I've been there several times, both cities several times through the years.
This was the first time you got to go to the Cowboys stadium, though, right?
Yes, it was. And that was definitely something that I did for my father. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to come out and fucking say it right here, right now.
The N-word?
fans
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Are fucking cowards. I have never been around a bigger bunch of pussies in my life.
Oh my goodness.
They are.
How the fuck is somebody going to be standing in your home wearing Philadelphia Eagles gear and not one person even fucking side eyes him? I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
It is kind of like a known thing. The Cowboys fans are like more docile than most football fans.
I don't know what I was thinking, but we rolled up and the stadium was swarming with people. And I said to my dad, I was like, you know, if anybody starts giving me shit, you don't have to defend me. I did this to myself. We're in your team's territory. You know, you can pile on and you can jump on their side. Like I understand what's what
That'd be hilarious if some Cowboy fans start giving you shit and your dad just like turns around and is like, yeah, you pussy. Heck, get him.
It pops me in the mouth.
God, sports are so weird. Like that's like if you went to a Cannibal Corpse concert and people were like, he's wearing a Municipal Waste shirt. Beat him up.
I'm gonna try to go to a concert, a hardcore concert that Shuddy's at, wearing my Tool shirt. We'll see how he takes that.
You're just gonna embarrass Shuddy. I don't think too many other people get that get bent out of shape over it. But Shuddy, your major beef is that nobody kicked your ass.
That nobody even really gave me any shit. I even started being a little bit of a dick and still couldn't gauge a response. Because the tour guide said something about playing the Philadelphia Eagles, and I raised my hand and I said, I believe you mean losing to the Philadelphia Eagles. And it was just like, oh, ha, 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 he's so funny. Nothing. Virtually no reaction.
Were you drunk?
I was not. I was just
ready for it. Just
Cowboy,
ready for some beef.
Cowboys, more like Plows boys.
Like if I walked my dad into Lincoln Financial Field with his Cowboys jersey on, things would be very tense.
He would have got shanked.
Like, on the tour, they're like, yeah, we have a jail here. I'm like, for what? You guys are all pussies.
Jesus, Shuddy.
I didn't say that. That one I kept to myself. I was trying to behave. Because that stadium, all joking aside, that fucking stadium is impressive.
So was there an actual game happening?
No, the game happened on Sunday. This was just a guided tour of Jerry Jones's monument to himself.
Yeah, the Cowboys throat fucked my Giants this Sunday. That's the game that happened at Cowboys Stadium.
Oh, quack, quack, quack.
I don't even get what that means.
Yeah, the throat fucking noise.
Oh. If you did it that way in the first place,
that's not he quacked, which I wasn't following either.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was too deep of a Stern Show reference, I guess. So wait, that place was packed even though a game wasn't happening?
Yeah, because they see it.
So Jerry Jones spent about $1 billion on this stadium. And he is trying. I mean, that's how much the stadium cost. I don't know that it was all his, but they try and generate as much revenue as they can from the building. Every part of the stadium is available to rent for private events, except Jerry Jones's private suite.
I mean, that sounds par for the course.
Like every inch. If we wanted to hold Pooh Fest on the football field at AT&T Stadium, we could rent it and hold Pooh Fest.
How much?
Yeah, I was telling you guys a while ago that my college roommate worked for the Dallas Cowboys when we graduated, and he was telling me one of the first years that he worked for the Cowboys, the Jonas Brothers rented the stadium so they could play Call of Duty on the big screen TV that hangs over the field for one of their
The
birthdays.
103 by 70-foot TV, 4K HD dual video board that weighs 1.2 million pounds.
Oh,
It's so big that it's about 100 feet over the field. It will lower to 25 feet above the field, and then elevators will lower down the remaining 25 feet so people can get up into it and work on it.
holy shit. I mean,
Yeah.
is it in sections or is it one enormous screen? Because you get one little ding on that motherfucker and oops.
It's one enormous screen, but it has I can't remember the exact figure, but around 1 million LEDs.
Like if some unruly Philadelphia person was there and threw a battery and it flew up and cracked the screen in like the bottom corner, they can't just replace a chunk. They got to replace the whole thing.
It contains 30 million LED bulbs between the two screens.
That seems unnecessary.
It's 1080p.
Necessary? Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No. It's sterile, and I like the taste.
Well, what about the rest of your trip? Anything else happen when Shuddy does Dallas?
I did get a little drunk with my cousins. That was fun.
Did you pork any of them?
No.
Hmm.
That's extremely inappropriate since they're all first cousins.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys roll. All right, so no cousin pork.
Do you fuck your cousins?
No.
So then why would you assume other people that are normal do?
I don't know. Someone's porking their cousin. I mean, shit.
Okay.
Didn't Giuliani pork his cousin?
I don't think they were. I don't know that they were first cousins.
All right, Jeff.
Jonah Hill's character in Wolf of Wall Street, they fucked their cousin, or he fucked his cousin.
Megan the Stallion. Second cousin.
Love her.
Second cousin. You still going for it?
Yeah, it'd have to be through marriage, obviously.
Nope, it's blood. Somehow, it's by blood.
Yeah, since she's my blood cousin, no, I wouldn't fuck Megan Thee Stallion. If she was my cousin through marriage, probably.
Do you believe him, Shuddy?
I do.
I don't.
Thank God.
I do not.
If they were blood cousins, I could see him not.
No, I'm picturing like a Joe Dirt scenario where Jeff gets all pumped about it. Oh, Megan the cousin.
You're my cousin. You're my cousin. You're my cousin. Yeah, that movie's a five-dicker. I haven't seen it in forever, but gotta check it out again soon.
I did
Look up
see
pictures of Meg Thee Stallion.
OCP headquarters.
OCP. Oh, yeah. For a second, I thought you were talking about Insane Clown Posse. I'm like, what the fuck? What is it, like the Fago plant?
That's ICP, and they're from Detroit, not Dallas.
Yep.
The Dallas City Hall was used as for the exterior shots of OCP in the RoboCop films.
Yeah. Like when you sent me that picture, I was like, "Man, I know this, but I can't place it." And then when you sent the comparison with like, because they put on like I'm sure
They CGI
yeah
upper levels to it. They made it much taller for the movies
Yeah.
than it is in real life.
That was dope.
Drove around, saw where my dad, like the areas my dad grew up in. That's really.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hold on. I don't know what the fuck just happened. All of a sudden
What'd
it
you
just...
do?
And now it's back. I don't know. Zoom just started, instead of going to the recorder, playing out through the speakers. Oh, no. Check. All right, I think we're good.
I'm just trying to sync my pictures from my phone, and I can show you guys some. Do I have anything fun from Dallas?
Nope. That's
Oh,
my
here.
cousin.
This
That's my
is
cousin's grundle. Can't show that one.
That's really. I don't like those jokes.
Playing with fire, Kevin. He doesn't like it. That's the last warning you're going to get.
That's how big the video board is in the stadium.
Whew, man, that's just a straight up TV.
Yeah.
And they had to get a second one to face the other way?
And we're pretty far away. That's my pops. Super happy. I took this picture because it originally was a bag of Cheetos and it said grab and go healthy choices. And I wanted to send that to you, but it literally, as soon as I clicked the picture taking button, it switched to this Cowboys cheesesteak pie, which again, not a healthy choice.
Yeah, putting a cheesesteak in pie form doesn't exactly scream healthy to me.
That's in the Cowboys locker room with my Jalen Hurts sweatshirt and Eagles hat. Again, nobody. A couple of the Cowboys staff had a couple of fun things to say, like they were going to charge me more, but that was the extent of the ribbing that I got. Is like, oh, hopefully you paid more for your admission ticket.
No one stuffed me in a locker. No one stabbed me. Bunch of pussies.
This was a dragon statue outside of the hotel that's all chrome, and it's about 30 feet tall.
Oh, that doesn't look like me.
It was, at the same time, probably the most impressive statuary and most obnoxious statuary I've ever seen.
What makes it a statuary and not a statue?
They're the same.
Oh.
I'm sharing the screen that I'm Googling to confirm.
A sculpture,
plural for statues.
A sculpture consisting of statues.
Sculpture consisting, yeah. So it'd have to. I used it incorrectly. It would have had to be multiple statues.
Oh wow,
to be
a very
statuary.
Rare self-shuddy. We don't see those often.
I got a real kick out of this Egg Roll Hut restaurant with the ice cream, the soft serve ice cream cone on the sign.
Boy, it doesn't take much, does it?
These were some banging breakfast tacos from this place called Rusty's.
Oh. Okay, what...
cheese. It had egg, chorizo, bacon, queso, tortilla chips.
Oh, double meat.
Yeah. Double meat, double cheese. They had an American and a Mexican cheese on there.
There's OCP headquarters.
Dope. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow,
These
meow,
are...
meow.
Oh, Kevin.
Got him. Is this a statuary of buffaloes?
This is, well, they are Texas
the
Longhorn
buffaloes.
cattle. But yes, this is statuary.
Man.
There's my dad took pictures of everything. So there's a picture.
And he's really got the dad taking a picture pose down perfectly.
Yeah, he does.
There should be a statuary of this.
I know. A statuary of Shuddy dads.
I did wear my my hoodie to Pioneer Park. So there's me in front of a
Nice.
steer repping.
And no one tried to beat you up for wearing that?
Nope, nobody even said anything to me. Didn't even side eye me.
Come on,
So
guys.
they're okay
I'm wearing a hunk of shit.
Yeah, something. That's what it looked like in the movie. That's the picture I had to send Kevin so he could picture it.
That's cool. Fucking RoboCop. Yeah.
And then yesterday on the way back, we stopped in Memphis for some sightseeing. So Beale Street, which is like their Bourbon Street, but it's only 2 blocks.
Oh, boo.
Is it hooded like Bourbon Street? Or even worse?
So we were driving from, well, we'll get there. So it's not hooded, but then we ended up at Graceland, and it bummed me out that joke did not land with either of you two when I sent you the picture of the house.
No, it landed. I've been watching a surprise amount of Elvis related content lately, so it landed with me.
Oh,
I knew
okay.
you were talking about it too, actually.
I thought your response was just like, I need to say something to him. Because you just said, oh, dang.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched
some
Priscilla.
Dude died on the shitter here.
I just watched Priscilla, and then I went and saw True Romance in the theater. And, of course, in that movie, Christian Slater hallucinates talking to Elvis, played by Val Kilmer, a whole bunch.
So these are Elvis's planes. There's the house he died on the shitter in, Graceland. They want, so to do a tour to go inside the mansion is $80 fucking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're trying to bilk as much money off that they can. The estate of Elvis?
They built a museum, and it's $50 to get into that, and then you have to pay another $30 to include the mansion in. And you can only buy them together. You can't just do a tour of Graceland.
Damn.
Well, fun fact, Riley Keough is the owner of Graceland currently.
Ah, Elvis's granddaughter.
Yes, because Elvis, when he died,
she's a good actor,
left it to Lisa Marie, who then left it to Riley when she died. And Riley Keough had to fight Priscilla over it, and it just settled like 2 months ago.
Damn.
But then, so
you're taking pictures of random motels?
No. On the way, while we were here, we decided we were going to go to the Lorraine Motel.
Yeah, and what's that one?
Which is where Martin Luther King was shot.
Oh, shit.
But, so on the drive from Graceland to the Lorraine Motel, we did drive through a tougher section of Memphis where we got passed on both sides by about 4 cars with early 20-something-year-old kids all wearing full ski masks, running red lights.
Oh, fuck.
Like, it was like, I just sat there, I'm like, holy shit, that was wild. And then when we're making a turn, there's a billboard that just was a dude, and it said, real men don't commit murder.
Oh, wow. That's a good way for that billboard to find itself murdered, talking shit like that.
But then, yes, then we did
snitching.
We did go to the Lorraine Motel, which is now the National Civil Rights Museum.
Yeah, I'm guessing you can't get a room there.
No. So there's just some pictures of that. That's where he was shot. And then I think that's the end of our photo tour.
Nice. Well done, Shuddy.
It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, you crammed a lot in just a quick, long weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we left Thursday morning at 9 a.m., got to Dallas at 9 a.m., left yesterday at 9 a.m. We were there for basically 48 hours and spent 48 hours in the car.
Shit. Fuck that.
It was fun. It was fun. I did enjoy it. Dallas, those highways around that city are fucking wild.
You get moving on
So Friday morning traffic was absolutely horrendous, and Friday night.
them.
But yesterday and Saturday, you could do 90 miles an hour. It's just the way that it's like 6 highways will all form into one and then all split off at different times on different sides of the road. It's crazy.
Well,
And it
glad
was
you
the first
survived.
time I had ever driven in the city in Dallas. I'd never been old enough or only there with no car. But it was a
I
good
was
time.
only I was only in Dallas for 1 weekend, and it was a lot of fun. And granted, I was in my early to mid 20s, and so was my host, and he had connections and knew where there was a bunch of cool spots. But I fucking love Dallas. I thought it was sick.
Yeah, I went there for Skankfest one year, I think. But yeah, it was a quick pop in. You know, I was flying solo because nobody, when we did those work trips, none of us ever actually really got together and did anything. So yeah, I was kind of I had no idea what to do. I kind of just stumbled around by myself. But I'm glad you made it back safe and we're able to do MSPH today. There's a chance we might need to do it a day late next week, if possible, because we might try and do a pickup day for the movie, filming like potentially another 2, celebrity cameos playing themselves
Cameos.
for the in the mockumentary. So we might have that set up for a week from today, but just in case it happens, it's out there in the ether for the Puminati. I did do something this past week that could be met with some ridicule and taunting, perhaps. But
What the fuck? What is this?
I did a psychic reading. So
What prompted this?
Carl had a couple of friends that did a session with this psychic, and they were all just like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
What?
Talked it up to Carl, and she was just like, all right, let me give it a try. And then she was
Isn't
like,
it-
holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And she told a couple people, they did it, and they reported back to her, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And I was just like, and she kept being like, you should give it a try. You should give it a try. And I was like, are you trying to make the thumbs up emoji happen, Shuddy?
I am. That's
Is that-
exactly what I'm trying to do.
I think it only does it if you have the most updated version of Zoom. But it's not doing it for
You
either.
gotta really
any
lean
of
into
us.
it.
But so she kept being like, you should give it a shot. You should give it a shot. And I'm like, I would say I am equal parts open-minded and skeptical of things.
Are you in the place in your relationship where you're terrified whenever Carl brings up, I was talking to my friends?
No,
Oh, man.
takes a lot more.
That's
than
when
that
you
to
know
scare
some
me.
bullshit's coming. Whenever you hear I was talking to my friends or me and my mom were talking, it's just like, oh God. What did you fucking ladies come up with?
Well, I
Here we
was
go.
just like, okay, I look at things as if I try something new, it could give me a story for the podcast, or the more things in life that you experience. When you're a writer, you have more things to draw from. So I'll try most things once. And just to not be a butthole, I'll go into them as open-minded as I possibly can. Man, Shuddy with those 8-bit shades. Looking cool as fuck. Now you have rainbow eyes, you pizza head. What the fuck is going on here? A tiny zoom hat on your regular hat? All right.
Tell you
Either
what's
way.
going on. He's fucking over your story. That's what's going on.
So I This is also it's also one of those psychics that is a medium as well. And it's not a shirt size, Jeff. Can
I was like, I'm a double XL now. I didn't want to talk about it, but here we are.
to communicate with the other side. And I was just like, fuck it. I'll give it a shot. I'll see what happens. Best case scenario, she blows my mind, says some crazy shit, perhaps gives me a little bit of insight. Worst case scenario, I have a story for the show. I have a new experience that I can draw from in my, arsenal of life experiences if I ever want to give a little life to a character I'm writing or something. I don't know. Either way, I'm just down to try new things. And if they end up being stupid or they suck, oh well. Gave it a shot.
Down to clown.
So things were interesting. I will say that. I was definitely skeptical, but I wasn't being a butthole. I wasn't trying to do any gotcha shit. I asked her about, obviously I had to ask about the movie because we're still at a point right now where, so the day that I had the reading from her, the data recovery place has still not gotten stuff back, and it has just been stuck in the mud, no progress whatsoever. And I talked to the guy, and he was like, look, I'm going to put a little bit more work into it, but I'm very close to the point where I'm about to tap out. I've done everything I can, and we just can't find these fucking files. In which case,
Whoa.
yeah, that would send us to reshoots, which is a fucking nightmare. Because when I talked about the movie being done, the woman that owned the place that we shot 80% of the movie at fucking hated us. Made our lives a living hell, screamed at us over everything, made up reasons to scream at us, just nonstop screaming. The place is also being demolished, so can't wait too long because it's not going to be there for much longer. And who knows how many people have this booked out. Who knows from now until demolition how much free time there is to even rent that place to shoot there. Not only that, but we gave away all the furniture. Like all the furniture that was used for, coffee table, TV stand, couch, all that shit that is very identifiable and noticeable, all just went to Goodwill when we wrapped because who the fuck is holding on to an entire apartment's worth of furniture? We don't have the money for storage or anything. So reshoots would have been an incredible fucking nightmare. And when I talked to her about
for good news from this medium.
well, she was saying that, the movie's going to be successful, that it is going to start my career as a filmmaker. And I was like, all right, I'm pumped to hear that.
How much information did you give to her beforehand, though?
Well, she asked
He sent her the script.
Yeah.
She asked what I do for a living. And I was like, I'm in this weird in-between period where I don't know how to truthfully answer that because I don't know if I can say I'm a filmmaker and I don't have a job anymore.
She's writing down, okay, unemployed.
Yeah. I mean, all my income comes from fucking telling fart jokes on Patreon.
Listen, your girlfriend can't hear this. Just tell me what you fucking do.
So, she did say that the data recovery place is not going to have the luck I want it to, and we're going to get sent into doing reshoots. But she was like, the stuff you film will be better than the stuff you lost, so that'll be a plus. Quick update on that. I did hear from the data recovery place the next day, or very close to the next day, and they were like, we had a breakthrough. We found a fuckload of things. The floodgates have kind of opened. And I was like, okay, well, you found a bunch of clips. What was the total amount of clips that were missing, and what have we recovered from this recent dam breaking? And he was like, all right, there was 40 clips left. And I just found 30. And I'm like, oh, so we're fucking 10 clips away from being 100% restored? And he's like, yes. And I am feeling very good about this. And I think that was Friday or Saturday. And he was like, I should have this done by the end of the weekend. But I did not hear from him. And I reached out to the producer who's kind of been his point man, and he hasn't heard shit either. So she could still be right there. We could have to go to reshoots for just a couple quick fucking scenes, which sucks because a lot of times we did maybe 4 to 5 takes per scene. So if all the lost stuff is clumped together, that could be 2 missing scenes, which would blow to have to spend if there are crucial scenes that like, you know, critical to the story and we have to have them. Then yeah, we would have to pay for reshoots, which would cost a fucking fortune, probably the remainder of our post-production budget, which could suck. That could be a huge issue. But so the psychic also at one point was just like, you know, she explained what she does and she was like, so I kind of need questions. I need something to focus me because I'm constantly getting bombarded by shit. So if you ask me questions, that'll focus my attention on what I can hone in on. What's up?
Question. You probably already answered this.
Yes, Dwight.
Did you go to the same psychic that your girl that Carl and her friends went to? Or did you pick a random different one?
No, why? If they all went to the same psychic and had mind-blowing experiences, why would I go to a different one?
I don't know. Just maybe give a little
yeah, it was the same.
I don't know. maybe it would just help out the sample size. So you have the control psychic and then you have the random psychic that Kevin did.
All right. Interesting point.
But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Keep going.
So she stopped me and she was just like, okay, I have to bring this up because all I'm hearing is father, 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 father. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And Carl was kind of telling me this. She was like, you know, the first girl in our group of friends that did this, her dad died. And she reached out and she kind of wanted the you know, a medium type thing. She wanted the psychic to contact her dad and see if they could like pass info back and forth. And the psychic was like, look, I don't deal in bullshit. You know, make of that what you will. You know, if I can't force somebody here, I can't like force a dead person's spirit here to talk to me. They have to be willing. They have to be around because apparently she claims that reincarnation is the thing. So like when she talked to me, she's like, you're kind of an immature guy, aren't you? And I was like, one could make that argument.
Where are you wearing a death metal shirt?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she was like, you're a young soul. You've only lived like a couple of lifetimes, so everything is still kind of fresh and new to you. But she was like, souls hang around, but then they kind of go back into the cycle and go into someone new or something. So she's like, I can only talk to people and pass messages on if they're here. So she was like, all right, well, I want to talk to my dad. And she's like, your dad's not here. I can't do anything about it. And then like towards the end of the session, the dad showed up. And I was, when I was hearing this story, I'm like, oh, how convenient. Right when time was about to run out, all of a sudden dad's here and he wants to talk. So that'll be another session you have to buy. And she was like, no, the psychic did an entire free hour with her to like, do the medium shit with her dad. And I was like, all right.
Free.
Yeah. So
okay.
When she kept doing the whole, your dad, all I'm hearing from is like father, father, father. I'm like, well, yeah, we're getting close to the 2nd anniversary of my dad dying. And she dropped some shit that was fucking mind-blowing. Like, it's not anything I can say on the show, but I'll put it this way. If she was grasping at straws and cold reading and threw this out there on a whim, if she was wrong, that would have been an epic fuck up. To say to somebody about their dead dad and be wrong about it is like, aha. But she was fucking spot on. It's not any information that's public. My dad was a little bit more on the private side, which is why I never really talked about him all that much or told stories about us, and it just wasn't really his thing. Like, my dad had a restaurant in Jersey, and this guy who was a regular there is a movie producer, and like he was supposed to introduce us, and we were supposed to have lunch, but obviously, my dad dying kind of put a damper on that. But the guy is a producer on all the John Wick movies and was like trying to get my dad to fly out for a cameo in it. He's like, you'll be one of the guys that John Wick kills. And my dad was just like, nah, not interested. Like, he likes flying under the radar. So for her to
Me
pull
too.
the shit that she mentioned about my dad, I was like, fuck, okay, that's impressive. I don't know, I'm still a skeptic, but that was, I mean, and then she started going off on like my dad's upbringing and my grandparents, and she was fucking spot on with all of it. It was wild. But she was like, your dad's here with me, but he's not talking. Like,
That would have pissed me off, actually.
if
That's
someone
kinda
knew all that stuff.
Yeah, like that's kind of why I don't pay attention to zodiacs. When I like first started reading them in the newspaper, like fucking I don't even know how many years ago at this point. They like were spot on the first couple times, and I was like, all right, nope, done with this. This is freaking me out.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. I don't know how to explain it, because there's some stuff, like, sure, she knew my name when I booked the session, so you Google me. Look at my social media. Look at my Instagram. You can scroll down and see posts that I made in honor of my dad. Very easy to figure out I had a dead dad. But to know the shit that she knew, there is no fucking Google search revealing that.
How much time did she have your name for before you?
Less than 24 hours.
Okay.
And then, so the very, very first thing that I asked her when she explained how she works, and then like, all right, so you pretty much just guide me by asking questions. First question I had to ask was, am I cursed? Because, just anybody who's listened to MSPH for an extended period of time, anybody who's known me for an extended period of time, it always comes up like, holy shit, you have really bad luck, don't you? And she immediately started laughing, and she was like, you're not cursed. And I'm also not sensing anything demonic, which is very good. But she was like, but you do have some karmic baggage from past lives. So she seems to think that I did some bad shit in one of my few previous lives, which...
You think you were a slave trader?
Oops. Ah, come on. Why do you got to go there?
Sorry.
I didn't always have to be white
A rapist?
necessarily. I could have. God damn it, Jeff.
Well, I mean, you're the one with the bad karma. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this.
Why would
What
you
do you think
suggest
he could have
that?
done, Shuddy?
Why would those be the two go-to things? A slave owner and a rapist? Come on.
I mean, they have really bad karma. So do you, apparently.
So do pedophiles.
Oh my God, you fucking duo of scumbags.
Hey, listen. We're not the one who was a scumbag in his previous life.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
You could have been a scumbag in your previous life.
I'm not cursed like you are, or I don't have the luck that you do. So I'm not carrying around the same kind of karmic baggage that you are, you fucking kid toucher.
I mean, hey, you could also be a former kid toucher and not just not have the bad luck from it.
And maybe, I mean, you are haunted by ghosts. Shuddy.
Yeah, that's revenge on you being a former kid toucher slave owner.
Yeah.
You can't turn this around on me just because that's what you were, trying to deflect from yourself. Your middle name really is Kyle.
Yeah. Good one. She was like, she's like, but you're not, she's like, a lot of it is also you calling yourself cursed. Like, you're overly negative all the time. You say bad things about yourself a lot.
Check.
And if you keep doing
really
that,
on a roll.
She's like, if you keep doing that, this is going to just keep on happening. You have to turn things around. You have to stop saying that. So I am going to give it a shot, and I'm going to stop referencing my luck. I'm
having crap karma.
This is going to be a clean slate going forward. I'm going to ignore all that shit and give it a shot and see if anything improves. Because it was like in the next day or two that I got that call from the data recovery center place, and they're like, "We're on a fucking roll." Like my phone could ring at any minute, and I will take it and see if it's them, because in the next couple of days, I should know one way or another if everything is 100% recovered or if we got to just fucking go into reshoots. But that was my first question, and then that was when she cut me off with the dad stuff. But like, man, I don't even know if I should say this either.
Come on. Fire it out there, Bean.
All right. So, my uncle is missing. My Uncle Rob.
He's still missing?
I mean, he went missing 2 weeks ago.
Oh, he was going through something a month or two ago, wasn't he?
A few months ago, yeah. And, I got a call from my mom, I think the day before I did this psychic thing. And, she was like, he's gone. He's vanished. He's not showing up for work. He's not at home. His car's not there. He's not answering anybody's texts. He's just gone. So, I mean, I've talked about him in the past. He's more of a big brother than he is an uncle. He was 13 when I was born, so we lived in the same house growing up. At one point in time, we shared a room, and he was really influential because, he's a super, super funny guy. And he always has been. And his sense of humor sort of just helped shape mine at a young age. And like, I just the way he got laughs out of anybody in a room. He could just turn any situation. If everybody just got bad news or something, or if something bad happened, he would always just cut through it with a joke and lighten the mood. And I always, like, that was a trait that I really looked up to as a kid. I was like, that's what I want. Like, I have a feeling I'm not going to grow up to be a smart man, but if I can make people laugh, then that'll be my contribution. So, I always looked up to him. I was a big Uncle Rob poser my whole life. I always wanted to just be just like him. But, him gone, and, it's fucking really, really tough on my grandma. She just lost her husband of over 60 years. And then this happens. Her son just vanishes. And I don't know. It was one of those things where I was just kind of desperate, and it was just like, oh, fuck it. Yeah, I'll ask the psycho, figure out what I have to learn from that. Huh?
You called her a psycho.
Did I?
You said I'll ask the psycho.
Yeah. I thought I said psychic. I don't know. But yeah, I asked her, and she's like, look, I don't sugarcoat shit, so I'll let you know if there's bad news coming, and you tell me if you want it or not. And I was like, I mean, yeah, you got to tell me. And she's like, well, yeah. I mean, he's not in a good place. I don't see him in the state of Florida right now. And she's like, yeah, he's not in a good place, and I don't know if there's necessarily a happy ending to all this. And, she gave me like a little bit more stuff, but moved on. And then the next day I was she was like, and you got to be there for your grandma. And, I've been texting her and, keeping in touch. And the next day I called her and, just tried to explain things to her and, try to just give her the silver lining and being like, everybody did everything they can. And, don't beat yourself up over this. And I know it's hard, but, just trying to lift her spirits up and stuff. And she was like, I talked to some people that know him, and he always mentioned having these friends in Texas. And I was like, holy shit, if he fucking disappeared and went to Texas. And she's like, yeah, he's no longer in Florida. That's an eerie thing to catch. I don't know, there was a lot of stuff like that where it was just like, oh, man, how, like, getting all of this shit, kind of right. And, who knows, there was some stuff she sort of predicted and gave timelines on, and time will tell on those. But the stuff she knew about my family and even me without even really asking me many questions at all, it was fucking eerie, man. It was fucking eerie. I even called my mom and told her all this stuff, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm fucking freaking out."
Are you going to go back to her?
I don't know. But it was interesting.
What's going to, well, is it expensive? Like what would, or either way, what would keep you from visiting again?
I don't know. There's a decent amount of things in life on that I'm like a one and done kind of guy. I don't know. Maybe someday if there's like a whole bunch of questions and I feel desperate and it's like, let me give that a shot again, I would give it a try. But yeah, it was interesting, to say the least. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like
So you would suck 4.5 medium dicks?
4.25.
Nice. How long was the session? Was it just an hour?
It was an hour, but it ended up going like an hour and 45 minutes.
What?
Yeah. And I didn't get upcharged for the extra 45 minutes or anything.
So did she find you like just interesting and wanted to keep going, or were you kind of like, no, can we? Did you, or was it more of like your decision to keep going?
No, it ran long because she had like more info that she wanted to give me. So she was just like, rather than you paying for another session, I'll just give it to you now, and we'll just go long. And then, all right, so this is another kooky thing, but she was like, I'll do a free energy cleansing for you.
I mean,
Which
you probably need that.
I mean that she was saying it'll help you with the karma and stuff, like all the she's like you're surrounded by chaotic energy. She's like, you're a good person, but you have a lot of chaotic energy around you that's sort of fucking things up, and I can clear that for you.
Especially that Jeff Clark.
Yeah, is there a piece of shit in your life with the name Jeff? It's coming to be all misspelled. I don't fully understand this.
Yeah, I keep hearing Jeff, but all I'm seeing is a G. I don't understand.
Yeah, do the letters DBTCS mean anything to you? And I was like, you mean Dookie Boy the cocksucker?
What's going to happen to him? Oh, he's dying.
Yeah, she did a cleansing thing on me. So I had to close my eyes, do breathing exercises, and then just sit there with my eyes closed for like 20 minutes in silence while she did mumbo jumbos over me. And she said it was tough and that there was a shadow entity or something clung to me. And she said she had to pull out like the big guns to pry it off me and get rid of it. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. I'm not really big on shadow monsters attaching to me.
So have you noticed a difference?
A little bit. In all honesty, yeah. And it's not like night and day, but I do feel generally better. And it is kind of weird that almost immediately that was when the data recovery center place was just striking gold and recovering tons and tons of shit. But I don't know. We'll see. You know, it was less than a week ago. So, but like I said, I'm still the same exact ratio of open-minded and skeptical. Like, obviously people can take shots in the dark. And, you know, the charlatans that go on TV and be like, I'm getting a letter B and do stuff like that. It's just weird that she was so dead on with, I don't know, 6 or 7 people that are in this network of people that have been recommended and reported back. Like, her track record is just fucking crazy. So I was just like, you know what? I'm skeptical but intrigued. and I would like to see how I fare. And she fucking nailed it with me too.
Was it pricey?
A little bit. It was like $90.
I mean,
that's not that bad.
When I was thinking pricey, I was thinking somewhere over $100. So $90 for almost 2 hours and a cleansing from your pedophilia past.
You son of a fucking bitch.
I think that's worth it.
I tell you what, I'd much prefer to do this in a fucking flow clinic where I just sat there and wondered how much money I was losing in football while this fucking bath of Epsom salt.
Hey, that really happened?
I mean, I didn't really go to sleep. I was just like, well, I wonder what's happening with Alabama LSU right now.
I don't remember this. When did you go to a fucking float tank?
This is years ago. My ex bought it for me for either my birthday or Christmas. It was some gift, and she got one of her own, and we went, and I got nothing out of it. I just pretty much just waited in the dark for like an hour. It's just like,
did you talk about this on the show?
I feel like he did. He did.
I talked about it.
A fucking hour was up. I opened up the lid. I got out. There's like a turd floating in there. I don't know who put that in there.
Yeah, I probably tried to do one of those things where I wanted to make the story better, or I don't know, more detailed than it needed to be, and it really just broke down to, I just sat in the dark for an hour and was like wondering what the score of the football game was.
Because I did one of those too with Will Pendarvis, and when I get tired, I get like restless legs where I have to kind of like sit on the floor, pull my heels up into my nutsack, and then kind of like push my knees down like the butterfly thing. Like I just have to stretch my groin muscles. They get like all tweaked out or something. I don't know what it is. So when I got in and started floating, I immediately got that uncomfortable leg thing, and that fucked up my whole experience. And I go out to the waiting room, and Pendarvis comes out, and he's like, "Oh, that was the craziest thing ever. I turned into a bird and was flying around." I was like, "What? You got to be a bird? I just had an uncomfortable groin." So you...
Yeah,
Did you see anything?
To do the psychic reading.
Like
dude.
Like I did have like a little bit of a screensaver when I closed my eyes of like colors flickering around, but that was about the extent of it.
Yeah, I guess I got a little bit of that, and I tried. It just didn't work for me, and I think I heard about the float tank through like a Joe Rogan social media video, and him and his guest at the time, who I don't even know who was, talking about how they can get a hallucinogenic experience from it. So that's what I was hoping for, and that is not what I got.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that was like maybe $100, $150 for an hour.
Holy shit. I don't remember it being that expensive when I went.
Well, let's look it up.
I mean, what do you think would happen if you went and did another float tank during, I don't know, curling season when there's no sports on that you really give a shit about?
The summer?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably wouldn't be that into it, but it might have a different effect. I'm on the I'm looking to see what the price is for the first float. Of course, they're not giving me shit. These fucking clowns. How far do I have to scroll down this goddamn book your first float now?
In other news, the Swedish rotten fish, the surströmming, that Jeff has to eat as part of his punishment, is just days away from being delivered. So you can put that on your MSPH calendars. The day Jeff vomits so much he vanishes from existence. This is also going to be a punishment for me too, because wherever we do this, if we do this at your place or my place, wherever, I want to be there to help get additional footage and stuff and witness it in person rather than over Zoom. And I'm going to smell that shit, and it's like I lost the Oscar bet too, because just smelling that stuff, being within 30 feet of that can when it's first pierced by the can opener, is a war crime.
What if I enjoy it? How fucking gross would that be?
This is getting me hard.
Um, so the Flow Clinic, 90 minutes, $75. And you got an hour and 45. So it's that 105 minutes for $90.
Yeah, not bad.
I think you got a better deal.
What would happen to you if you went to a psychic and she just started hitting you with like this like crazy deep cuts that nobody knows? Would you chalk it up to luck or be like, oh, maybe there's something to this?
No, I'd probably believe it. That's why I'm a little, I don't know. It seems like she convinced you. Or maybe it's just legit. I don't understand why you wouldn't go back.
I mean, I might. It's just like I don't know how much more stuff like the you know, putting yourself in the mindset of like, okay, how could things go right if this is legit? What am I actually hoping to get out of this? Some stuff from my dad, some sort of closure, that's in like the win column. You know, getting a peek into my future career because like right now I'm in a career grundle. I have a career behind me. I could have a career in front of me, but I don't know what my fucking current career is. I don't know what my grundle career is. So, I mean, just hearing from her, could be a charlatan, could not be, but hearing her be like, yeah, this is your career. You should already be working on your next project because you will be a successful filmmaker. This is your career for the rest of your life. And it's cool to hear, even if it's wrong. But if she was like, yeah, get used to flipping burgers the rest of your life, that would have also been a huge bummer. But I don't know. It could also just be a fucking pep talk packaged as a psychic. Like, I'm very good at cold reading, so I'm going to pluck some stuff out that's going to blow your mind, and then I'm just going to say some motivational shit and hope that, you know, it's like The Secret. You know, if you fucking believe it, it'll happen. So, yeah, I'm not going to tell this
the
guy
law of
that he's gonna,
attraction.
I'm not going to tell this fucking goofball he's going to be a failure. I'm going to tell him, yeah, your career is in film. Keep at it. So you go into it with a positive mindset, and then you make your own future or whatever hippy-dippy bullshit. Shuddy, would you ever do a psychic?
I mean, if you don't think it's complete bunk, then I would entertain it. I straddle the line between skepticism and wanting it to be real.
I feel like that's the
I feel like I would go into it too negative and like want it to be fake and look for the inconsistencies.
No, never. I would not believe that. That's so out of character.
I did get
All
her.
right.
I did get the psychic to get all emotional. She was like, she's like, this is bullshit. This is not. She's like, people always cry in my sessions. It's never me. She's like, I am not pumped about this.
Wow. What just her talking about your family?
Yeah. Like the combo of the dad and uncle stuff. She got like all emotional. And she's like, what the fuck? She's like, this never happens to me. Because like when I talked to Carl, like her and all of her friends were just bawling through it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm down.
And you showed no emotion whatsoever.
Yeah, you didn't cry at all?
No. I mean, there were definitely parts where I got a little choked up, but I didn't cry. I mean, you know, it's tough talking about your fucking dead dad and your missing uncle. It's, you know, it's heavy shit. But she was
true.
She was like, when I did your cleansing, she was like, it was hard to like get in there because she was like, you're a very silly, goofy guy, but you're very strong. Like you've been through some fucking shit, and you just don't let it get to you, really. It's like, I don't know. It's my job to be a fucking goofball. I have to get on here and start telling fart and dick jokes and stuff, you know? When my dad died,
Yes.
I don't even think the only show I missed was going to the funeral. And I can't like switch off, you know?
Yeah, show must go on.
Yep.
That's what I respect most about you. Maybe the only thing. No, just kidding.
So, Shuddy, I'm going to guess in your adventures this weekend, you didn't get to catch any new films?
No, nope. No, no new films. No new films.
Jeff, I don't even need to ask you.
Yeah, you don't have to ask me.
I saw this cool movie called The Giants versus the Eagles.
Yeah, I watched The Killer.
Oh, you did?
Thought it was. Yeah, I watched it last night. Thought it was pretty good. I like Michael Fassbender. I like Fincher. I really like the writer. I'll give it 3 stars, 3 dicks.
All right. I was pumped to see that when it hit Netflix, it went straight to #1, beating Spider-Man.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
impressive.
sick. How excited is your buddy about it?
Very excited. Because I was hanging out with him before it hit Netflix, like right before, and he was like, "Fuck, I really hope it does well. I hope it does well." Because you never know, like these streaming things, and with the actors' strike, no one's really been able to promote anything. So
Yeah, how does he feel about his movie going to Netflix?
I mean, it hit theaters for a
Yeah.
limited run, and then went to Netflix. And then he did write that movie Windfall, that went straight to Netflix. A year or two ago.
But is he like, no, this Netflix stuff is bullshit, or is it just the same like paycheck for him?
No,
Like
I think
whatever, he doesn't care.
he just loves writing. So if he writes a movie and it goes to Netflix and a bunch of people get to check it out, he's fucking pumped.
Does he have anything else that is he working on anything right now?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
Nice,
interestingly
dude.
enough, so The Killer came out, and his next movie, which is being filmed or already wrapped, is called Psycho Killer. So
And he wrote it.
yeah. Yeah, and he also wrote he wrote the newest Metalocalypse movie with Brendan Small. And then he also had Fincher directed one of the new episodes of Love, Death and Robots on Netflix. And he wrote that with Fincher. So he's been on a fucking roll lately. And I texted him the picture when it was #1 on Netflix, and he was beyond stoked. So I've been like, anytime I leave the house, like when Carl and I went out to dinner and went to the movies, I turn the TV on, I load up Netflix, I put on The Killer, hit play, and then walk out, just to try and get him some some extra spins. But
Yeah, dude.
I went and saw The Marvels, Shuddy Boy.
Did you?
I did.
Dude, I heard that one is bombing.
It is. Yep.
What's Dude, that shit is hilarious to me.
It's like it got hit by 2 big things, like the not being able to promote it with the strike, and then all those fucking limp dick incels that are like, oh, women are woke, or whatever the fuck they're whining about these days.
I knew you were going to say that. This is what makes it interesting, that movie bombing, because my brother brought this up yesterday. He was saying that 70% of the people that saw the movie were men and 30% were dudes. So maybe if the same
100%
number
were
of
men?
70 were dudes, 30% were women. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
So like if the same rate of women went and saw it as men, maybe it wouldn't bomb. It's like kind of like Bill Burr's joke about like the WNBA. It's like, well, why don't women go out and support the WNBA more? Like, why is it just like our fault that Marvels or the WNBA tanks? Like, you went and saw Marvels. Did Carl go with you?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
50-50 on that demo.
Yeah. All right. Well done, Kevin. Both you and Carl are woke.
I guess so.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what that word means, but it was also kind of getting, when it first hit, the reviews were not the greatest, and then it sort of balanced out a little bit once it had been out a little bit longer. So I was going into it like, all right, just for the sake of continuity and knowing what's going on in the Marvel movie universe, there have been a couple of movies where I'm not necessarily pumped to see them, but I see them as a labor of love, let's call it. I just want my nerdy curiosity wants to know what it's teeing up for the future in the Marvel movies. And I will say this. One of the most, post-credit scenes in a Marvel movie in a very long time. One that even Jeff would be like, oh wait, why am I doing it when Jeff can just do it himself?
Oh.
Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'll text it to you because I don't want to be a spoiler. But I'll text Jeff.
You want me to spoil it? I'll fucking spoil it. Send me the news, and I'll say it on the air. Spoilers coming.
If you didn't know this was coming, and this character just showed up out of nowhere, you would be like, oh, because you kind of know what it's teeing up. Did you get? No,
I don't. I mean, I know what you sent me. I get that, but I don't know what movie or where they are in the story of that comic book.
All right, hold on. I'm texting Jeff one more sentence. Okay, sent. And I mean, it's kind of a weird Easter egg to tack on to the end of this because they're not necessarily all that related outside of being Marvel properties, but I don't know. Honestly, it might have been because I went in holding my nose expecting a turd that I was pleasantly surprised and be like, okay, that was not a turd. It wasn't great. It wasn't the greatest Marvel movie, but
it was not gay.
The action and the fight scenes were fucking sick. I will 100% give that to the Marvels. CG, pretty fucking good. It looked good.
Oh, okay.
Samuel L. Jackson was fucking awesome in it. The villain...
That goes without saying.
The villain sucked. The villain was very underwhelming.
Who was?
It was... I don't even fucking know. It was... Okay, so you remember the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie? I guess I should address this to Shuddy.
Yes.
So it was basically Ronan, the accuser again. But it was like some female Kree. Like, she had that same staff that he has, and I don't know, it was just like, really? You kind of just brought back Ronan essentially as a woman, and like the way she gets defeated was incredibly underwhelming. And that's a big thing. You know, superhero movies, you need a really good fucking villain. And this is a point that Ginger and Juice mentions a lot. It's like this trap that superhero movies fall into where the hero is fighting a villain with the same exact powers, and it's kind of just fucking boring, you know? Especially because, like, Captain Marvel is a lot of energy blasts and lasers and shit, so then it's just like a fucking laser fight, and it's just like, this could have been cooler if there were opposing powers or not exactly lined up ones. But that little girl that plays Ms. Marvel, that show wasn't the greatest, but she does a fucking good job. I like that kid. I think she's charming. She's funny. She does a really good job as Ms. Marvel. And Teyonah Parris from They Clone Tyrone is
great movie.
The third Marvel,
Probably,
and she's awesome. I think
might be the best movie of the year so far.
Like her character, what was it, Yo-Yo? In They Clone Tyrone was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like the second I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to keep my eye on this lady because she killed it in that, and she was good in this." I mean, it was a mixed bag, but it's definitely not as bad as the reviews are making it out to be. But it's also not exactly the greatest thing in the world. So, in fairness, oh my god, and they're okay. This this definitely dinged the Peter meter. They go to this one planet that's essentially a musical planet. Like, the people there only communicate by singing. And I turned to Carl and I was like, I fucking hate this planet. Like, I would not be bummed out if fucking Thanos came out of a wormhole, punched a hole in it, and blew it to pieces, because fuck this planet. A fucking singing planet.
You're not into a whimsical world.
I don't like people singing at me. It makes me feel weird. I hate it.
La La Land, though. Good movie.
Yeah, there are. I mean, South Park, bigger, longer, uncut. There are exceptions to the rule. But
I feel like this is back-to-back weeks where we've talked about musicals.
yeah, I just can't get into them. They don't do anything for me. So that hurt the score. But 3.25 dicks for the Marvels. It was, if you're looking to, stay current with all the Marvel shit, because, Loki season 2 just put out its finale, and all this shit is connected. This one will not be the chore that some of the recent Marvel shit has been. So, yeah, Marvel's not that shabby. I did also go with Raw Dog. Our homie Raw Dog texted me and was like, did you guys hear about the Vista Theater reopening?
No.
It's like a...
I heard of it, yeah.
It's like a single screen theater in LA it's big. It's like a 400-seater. They used to do a lot of events there and stuff, but COVID kicked its ass and it shut down.
Is there another one with the same title in Orange County? Because I think my brothers were just talking about this. Hold on, let me go get something real quick. Keep going.
But so Tarantino bought it, and they touched it up, I guess, and put a little polish on it before doing a grand reopening. But it pretty much got announced. It was like, okay, Quentin Tarantino bought the Vista Theater. The grand opening, the first screening, is going to be True Romance, and Quentin's going to be there in person to intro it. Oh, and by the way, tickets go on sale in like a couple hours. So I didn't hear about this until it had already sold out. I actually checked Facebook and saw someone like flipping the fuck out that they were sitting on the website, hitting refresh, and the second it hit the top of the hour, it said sold out. And I was like, all right, well, that would have pissed me off. I'm glad I didn't go down that same route. But, Raw Dog produces Tarantino's podcast. So Tarantino's assistant got him on the guest list +1. So he hit me up. He's like, hey, if you're free Saturday night, I got a +1 to see True Romance at the Vista. And I was like, Carl, I hate to do this to you, but you are going to have the night to yourself because I have a hot date with Josh. And the biggest bummer was when we showed up, they did the phone case thing. They did the Chappelle thing. So we had to lock our phones up. And luckily, since Josh was on the guest list, there was a line wrapped fucking all the way down the street an hour before the movie even started. So they let us cut. We had to get wanded and searched and go through a fucking metal detector and get our phones locked up. But he had like the when they do an event in a theater and they have the VIP seats roped off with the person's last name taped to it. He had one of those going, so that was kind of cool. And Quentin comes out, talks about the movie. He's like, this theater has a rich history in LA. It was opened in 1923, so this is the 100th year that it's open. And I love this theater. And Quentin's got a hard-on for film, like actual film. He owns the New Beverly Theater, and the only movies they show there are from his personal collection of actual physical reels that he's bought, 35 millimeter, 70 millimeter, all that stuff. And he just hates digital for some reason. And as a chode who is still grasping for dear life to physical media, and I buy Blu-rays and 4K DVDs and shit, I still don't get... Like, it was cool watching True Romance on his personal copy. So it's not, the picture's not as sharp, and it has the cigarette burns and the flickers and all that stuff. And it was kind of a cool way to watch that. I just don't know if I would want to watch every movie like that, like with all the flickers. It's like, I kind of enjoy seeing the picture in crystal clear quality. There is something to that. It's kind of why I don't watch VHSs anymore. But speaking of VHSs, he was like, I also built, attached to this theater off to the side, a micro theater that seats like 20 people. And it has a projector set up for VHS. So he bought, when Quentin first hit it big, he bought the video store that he used to work at and the entire inventory. So he still has all those VHS tapes. So they're going to do screenings there of his VHS archive that he got from the video store that he used to work at that he bought. So I do, like, it is just fucking cool that he's doing that stuff for fellow film lovers, because I don't think there's shit like this anywhere else in the world. And then, you know,
Yeah.
True Romance is the first screenplay he ever wrote. Even though Reservoir Dogs came out a year earlier, this is the first script he ever just completed start to finish. And, I mean, what a fucking... I mean, you guys have seen True Romance, right?
Yes.
Five Dicker.
It's excellent. And, like...
Fucking love that movie. That scene with Hopper and Christopher Walken is one of the best ever.
Oh, God, with the Sicilian stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that... There were some people that must have been their first time seeing that movie, did not know how to handle all that.
Really?
With all the N-words, they're like, oh, it's getting a little stuffy in here.
Gonna
I
go
mean-
get some concessions.
Can you imagine that being the first script you ever wrote, and then it fucking goes on to be directed by Tony Scott and has an insanely stacked cast? It's just
No,
wild.
I don't even think along those lines. So
Brad Pitt as just a minor character. That's how baller that movie is. They just got Brad Pitt to play a stoner roommate. Floyd.
yeah, Michael Rappaport was actually the bigger star of those two, right?
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah, Rappaport fucking killed it too. Like, everybody in that movie is just so goddamn good. But yeah, that he was like, not only is this the first screenplay I ever wrote, but at the beginning of the movie, when Christian Slater goes to the Sonny Chiba triple feature, and Patricia Arquette shows up, and they have their little meet cute, that is the Vista Theater, and they walk out of it, and you see the awning and stuff. So it's just a really cool way to commemorate, you know, the 100th anniversary of that theater. Quentin Tarantino buying it, and then just doing a showing like this. It was fucking cool. It was really fucking
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that's why people on the East Coast are like, oh, how do you live in LA, man? There's fucking traffic and homeless people. It's like, yeah, there's traffic in Jersey. And I've seen homeless people in New York. And for a film nerd like me, it's just like living in Bonerland. There's so much cool shit happening all the time. So I can deal with shitty traffic to enjoy the little things in life.
Dude, it cracks me up whenever Outkick starts talking shit about California. And we actually have 3 Southern California writers on our staff. But yeah, it's fucking hilarious. It's like, dude, I think I live in paradise. Like the neighborhood I live in right now is fucking amazing. I'm dreading having to leave it one day because I probably won't ever be able to buy property here. But like, it's the fucking coolest. And whenever people talk shit, it just cracks me up. So yeah, stay away. You don't want to come here. It's terrible.
I mean, I make fun of you a lot for your undying devotion to Long Beach, but you're not lying. I mean, you have a sick apartment. It's in a sick neighborhood. It's close to a lot of shit. It's close to the beach. And all you have to do, you're just one super fun, quick scooter ride from a bunch of awesome shit. A night of drinking, a day at the beach. Like, your neighborhood is
I
pretty
put gas
clean.
in my car. Like LA's kind of a bummer when it comes to the homeless stuff. It really is, and it's getting worse and worse. But Long Beach just doesn't have that kind of problem. Like, at least not in my part of Long Beach. Like, there's homeless people for sure, but it's not like there's not like tent city by me, really.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Like there are definitely parts of LA where I would not fucking live in, like specifically bitch ass Paul's neighborhood. Fuck that. And he lives in like a nice building, but like
Is he in K-Town?
still, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, K-Town's not necessarily glamorous, that's for sure.
Nah. But it just trips me out. What I was getting, I got my brother's collecting these programs from a nonprofit art house cinema called The Frida. So when you said the Vista, I was like, wait a second, is that the same? Is that the same thing? Is there a Vista in Orange County, a Vista in Hollywood area? But apparently they've been going to the Frida. Yeah, it's like it's the same type of thing, single screen theater that shows old movies. Over the next 3 days, though, they're showing Uncut Gems, which is going to turn into my autobiography one day. Next week, they're doing When Harry Met Sally, and I'm actually thinking about going because I fucking love that movie.
That's a good flick. It's kind of cool seeing like movies on the big screen that you never got to see. Like,
dude, I don't think you were part of this, but I think at the Beverly, is that the name of a theater up there?
Yeah, that's the other one that Tarantino owns.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say that too. All right. The Beverly, we went and saw Alien or Aliens. One of the two. I can't remember. It was like one of the first years we moved to Southern California, and it looked so good on the big screen. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. I mean, back when the ArcLight was open, they would show classic horror movies in October, and I got to see The Shining on the big screen in the dome. And it was just like, man.
Damn.
For like a movie that I love so much that I wasn't alive to see in the theater, seeing it on a screen like that was it was almost like seeing it again for the first time. It was just so fucking cool.
That was my brother's main event movie for the Halloween like movie marathon they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both love The Shining. Like I think like The Shining is like my brother's favorite.
Dude, I've turned into
movie.
Such a fucking movie dork that I went to a rental store, video store, like last week.
Yeah.
There's this place, Vidiots, where they have, I don't know, something like 30,000 titles. And you can even search it on their website to see if they have it. And they have some of the deepest deep cuts. Like samurai movies that I've been dying to see forever, but they're out of print, don't exist online, can't stream them anywhere. And they got copies. You can just go and rent for $3 and you get them for 5 days. And it's like, look, I got the fucking cases right here. Like I can legit pull a Patrick Bateman and be like, I have to go return some videotapes. And I'm not lying. I do have to go return these movies at some point. And I'm not bummed about it.
How long did you book them for?
It's you get 5-day rentals, $3. But they have new shit too.
It's $3. Like $3 a day or $3
for 5 days.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And they have TV, they have documentaries, they have anime, they have deep cut art house, they have deep cut monster movies, they have mainstream shit, they have everything. They even have a trauma section for Shuddy and Dom. It's dope, man. It's fucking cool. They have like a little shelf for the new releases, so like new movies that just came out on Blu-ray. $3 to rent them for 5 days. Way cheaper than renting them digitally for like $25 or $20. I don't know, it's fucking cool. It's a good time to be a movie nerd loser in LA.
Yeah. The SAG just settled their strike. That shit's over.
Yep.
So shit should be picking up pretty shortly here.
Yeah. Yep. Well, hey, thank you for listening, friends. And if you need more MSPH in your life, please support the homies and go to patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. We recently gave it an overhaul. So all the tons of specialty shows that we put up on the $10 tier, instead of it just being one long 6-year timeline to scroll through, everything's broken up into categories, and people have been very pumped about it. So I'm glad people are appreciating it. I see, all the notifications when people like older shit, so people are clearly checking out the categories, going back from the beginning and just binging from the start. So It's a hell of a lot easier to use our Patreon now, and you get a shitload of new MSPH content every week. So patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour has the cure for what ails you. And you can also follow us on Instagram. I'm at Kevin Kraft.
At Shuddy Boy.
At Jeffro Records.
And at MSPH Podcast. If you are a degenerate sports gambler like Jeff, you're going to want to listen to Outkick Bets with Jeff Clark.
Damn right. NFL Week 11 will be recording this week and also doing NBA podcasts. So check that out everywhere you get podcasts.
Yeah. And if you would like to watch this podcast instead of just listen to it, you can go to youtube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. You'll definitely want to be subbed to that already when we do finally pull the trigger on the stinky, rotten fish punishment for Jeff. I have a feeling that's going to be very enjoyable. I think the person who will enjoy it the most is Shuddy Boy. Jeff will enjoy it the least. I will enjoy it the second least.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to this. Although maybe I like it.
But yeah, I guess in closing, watch The Killer on Netflix. Watch Metalocalypse, Army of the Doomstar on Prime. And keep your eyes peeled for the second coming of John Cooper, friends. But until next time, something.